Hi, I'm Paige Humble, Executive Director of Lung Cancer Initiative, and welcome to our annual update and awards celebration, where we're celebrating a year full of perseverance, connection, and hope. We could never have envisioned at last year's annual meeting in February that the year ahead would look so different. However, as everyone in our community had to do, we regrouped. We took a close look at what our role is in supporting lung cancer patients during this critical time, and that required us to look at things a little differently. We sought partnerships throughout the community to develop new programs and initiatives. We launched our Patient Emergency Fund and supported 80 lung cancer patients in accessing their basic needs with $250 stipends. We also began convening lung cancer survivors from across North Carolina and beyond through our monthly luncheon series, where we talked about everything from the pandemic to exercise to mindfulness to nutrition. From fully funding our research grants to delivering community education, we also continued our important partnership with hospitals and health systems across the state. Last year posed challenges for many businesses and nonprofits, and we were no exception. We worked closely with our board to revise our budget during the pandemic, and as I mentioned, we were very fortunate to be able to fully fund all of our programs in 2020. Budgeting for this coming year was also extremely challenging as we considered the continued impact of the pandemic as well as our strategic priorities for the coming year. We're continuing to evaluate our budget and associated income and expenses throughout the year as necessary. I want to say thank you to all of the supporters who enabled our organization to continue fueling our mission over this past year. From our volunteers to our donors to the providers and industry partners in our network, we could not have impacted the survivors and families that we did without you. I want to also extend a thank you to the Lung Cancer Initiative's 2020 corporate partners, Foundation Medicine, Bristol Myers Squibb, and AstraZeneca. Thank you for your sustaining support and commitment to the lung cancer community. Now today is all about celebration, and we're recognizing many of the advocates who made a difference in the lung cancer community over this past year.
Hi, I'm Meredith Lundy. 2020 was a difficult year for all of us. For me personally, as a lung cancer survivor, it was frightening and so isolating. That's why I was excited when the Lung Cancer Initiative of North Carolina started a monthly virtual survivor lunch so that we could safely keep in touch and be supportive of each other. These survivor lunches have given me something to look forward to. So I want to say a heartfelt thank you to the Lung Cancer Initiative of North Carolina for all that's being done across the state to benefit the lung cancer community and its survivors. Thank you, LCI of NC.
2020 changed all of our lives. For me, my local support group was only able to meet twice before everything shut down. When LCI began their Zoom lunch for survivors, it was a perfect blend of camaraderie, of answers to COVID concerns, and just overall fun. Thank you, LCI.
Hey everyone, my name is Colleen Christensen. I'm on the staff at Lung Cancer Initiative. And for me, 2020 was a really challenging time. A lot of anxiety and uncertainty and extended time away from loved ones and people that I care deeply about that I would see more often than I did last year. And one of the ways I made it through and continued to stay connected to our community was through our survivor lunches. It was such a privilege for me to be part of those, and it really enabled me to get to know survivors in different areas of North Carolina that were part of our network in ways that I never would have been able to get to know them as well before. From Asheville to Greensboro to Charlotte, even Mike out in Fort Mill, South Carolina, crossing over the border, and of course people in the Triangle and everywhere in between. It really was just so special to make those connections with survivors, and especially in different parts of North Carolina where maybe we have a couple events per year. We were able to stay in touch and really check in on each other and get to know each other better than we ever would have before the pandemic.
We are so excited to gather this evening with people from across North Carolina and beyond. In fact, if you're from somewhere other than North Carolina, please give a shout out now in the chat box for your home state. I also want to extend a special welcome to several of our friends in South Carolina who I know are joining us this evening. Last year was no doubt a difficult year, but there was also so much progress in the lung cancer community. Many of you probably know that the American Cancer Society reported earlier this year that the 5-year survival rate has increased to 21%. When we formed as an organization over 10 years ago, the survival rate was hovering around 15% and had not really budged for decades. While we still have so much more to do together, we have seen the survivors in our network grow and have evolved our programs to include more support for those survivors. Our programming has continued to evolve to serve the changing needs of our community, and so our mission has also necessarily evolved. Lung Cancer Initiative's mission is to advance survivorship and provide support to all those affected by lung cancer through research, education, and access programs. And now, it's my pleasure this evening to introduce Lung Cancer Initiative's newly appointed very first Vice President, Jim Shegog. I have known and worked with Jim for many years and have every confidence in his ability and passion to help us continue to carry out our mission. Jim has provided tremendous support to LCI, leading our strategic planning efforts, supporting our Triangle Lunge Forward, Evening of Hope, and marketing committees, and helping LCI expand our reach across the state in communities like Wilmington. My fellow board members and I are excited to have Jim assume this new position as we work to continue to expand our reach and impact even more lung cancer survivors and their families in North Carolina and beyond.
Thank you, Amy. It's truly been an honor to get to know people from across the organization over the past 3 years, and I'm hopeful for the growing impact that we'll continue to have together. I got involved with Lung Cancer Initiative 3 years ago. I had coffee with Amy, which is always a dangerous thing to do because you know you're going to get involved in a good cause. I personally have enjoyed working with the executive director and with the staff of this wonderful organization. They're a nonprofit like no other. They truly are committed and work every day for the cause of overcoming lung cancer. Many of us also are here tonight and a part of this community because of someone in our hearts who we may have lost to lung cancer. They're why we're here, and we continue their legacy through the work that we do every day to advance survivorship and support those impacted by lung cancer. We'd like to take a moment of silence now to remember those we lost this past year and all of the many others that we hold in our hearts. Thanks to each of you for your remembrance and for your continued support. I'd like to now turn it over to Dr. Ed Kim, who will fill us in on most recent advances in research and development.
Hi, it's Ed Kim here. I am pleased to give you an update from our research committee. It's really been a pleasure to serve and help everyone involved with the Lung Cancer Initiative of North Carolina. It's really been a challenge during this past year, not only with groups like the LCI, but also the institutions in which we're trying to do this research. The pandemic has certainly caused a lot of disruptions. We've been trying to keep people out of the hospitals to keep them safe, and this is not only just the patients, but also our healthcare workers, and more so even our laboratory workers. So research trials came to a halt for some period of time. Basic research in labs did. And we really appreciate everybody's support during this time to understand that this mission continues, that we really want to try and make a difference in North Carolina with helping patients who are battling lung cancer, assisting researchers who are trying to solve this, the frontline workers, again, the volunteers. We can't express how much thankfulness there is. Now, I can tell you that it's been great to be part of trying to train and support the next generation of lung cancer researchers. I will say that there's a more challenging time now than when I was a fellow coming out more than 20 years ago, and that's because lung cancer has really changed. It was a struggle, it was difficult, and there weren't many choices. And to see how much has changed over the past 15, 20 years, especially in the last 10 years with the advent of precision medicine, biomarkers, targeted therapies, it's unheard of that, now we have patients who are living years and years, and we have finally mirrored breast cancer. I frankly believe we've overtaken them. So I just want to give an update on the research. And again, we really congratulate the recipients of this year's fellowships. Now, our Career Development Award winner is Sheetal Patel. She's from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Her project is Combination Strategies Targeting Myeloid Cells in Squamous Lung Cancer. And so really excited about what she's doing. Then we have our other recipients include Anna Ivanina. She is from Levine Cancer Institute, my old place. She is using phosphodiesterase isoenzyme inhibitors to enhance pemetrexed activity in non-small cell lung cancer. Jarnardana Panatapuru from Wake Forest University is studying immunotherapy-induced pneumonitis in lung cancer patients, the role of imaging to predict long-term outcomes. We've got Dr. Carolyn Glass from the Duke Medical Center, and her project is identifying epigenetic biomarkers that predict response to immunotherapy in lung cancer patients. And then we have Sunitha Amara from East Carolina University. Her project is analyzing the role of GPR4 in immune-mediated adverse events in non-small cell lung cancer. So really proud that we have those folks who are our grant recipients. And then we also have our Innovation Grant Award recipient, and that is Dr. Salma Azam. She has a project that is entitled EGFR Targeted Mutant Specific Inhibitors of KRAS G12V Driven Lung Cancer. And so very exciting that she will be working on that. KRAS is a new area that is evolving in lung cancer, and so we're really proud that she could do that. This is called the Vicky Amidon Innovation Award in Lung Cancer Research, and it's named in the memory of Vicky Amidon, who was a young advocate, mother, wife who battled lung cancer, and this is an award that memorializes her. So we're really proud that Dr. Azam will be able to do that, and we're really proud that really all of our folks that we have chosen take this as a challenge, take this money and funds to sincerely improve the lives of patients in lung cancer who are battling lung cancer in North Carolina. So with that, I salute you, and I wish all of you a happy, healthy, and safe rest of the year. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Sheetal Patel, and I'm a thoracic and head and neck medical oncologist at the University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill. I was extremely fortunate to be the recipient of this year's Lung Cancer Initiative Career Development Award. My research is focused on looking at mechanisms of resistance to immune therapy, particularly in patients with squamous lung cancer, focusing on factors in the tumor microenvironment, including myeloid cells. What motivates me each day is my patients, and I hope that this research will be able to bring novel therapies to patients in the clinic very soon. Thank you to the Lung Cancer Initiative for your support of our patients and for this research as I begin my career. We really appreciate everything that you do.
I'm Sunitha Amara. I'm a second-year Hem/Onc Fellow at ECU. I'm honored to receive funding through LCI for my research project during fellowship. My project is focused on investigating whether GPR4, a G protein coupled receptor, can serve as a potential biomarker for immunotherapy related adverse events, commonly known as IARE. Funding is really key to our project as it involves lab-based experiments in addition to patient sample collection and chart review. By providing funding, LCI is giving a great opportunity for someone that's interested in this field. I also feel this is a wonderful way of helping lung cancer patients and giving back to the cancer community as a whole. COVID-19 pandemic, with its unprecedented global hit, particularly in the United States, has made everything tough. The labs have been closed for some time, and even when they were opened, there was limited access. There's been delays in almost every area. Granting funds during these tough times speaks volumes about LCI's commitments toward lung cancer prevention and treatment strategies. It also means a lot to me as a fellow and as a naive researcher. Communication and working with LCI has been very simple and straightforward. I've also been fortunate to have wonderful mentors, a strongly supporting fellowship program, and university. I would like to thank LCI again for this wonderful opportunity, and I strongly recommend my co-fellows who are interested in the area and who have the opportunity to apply to it. Thank you.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us at our annual meeting and awards dinner. My name is Chris Rawlis, and I've been on the board of LCI since February of 2017. One of the first things that struck me was the passion and commitment of not only the staff, but all the volunteers associated with the group. We needed all of that and more in 2020, which was a very challenging year. I remember last March about this time, we were actually talking about having the gala in person in July. That seemed like a good idea. Nevertheless, we were able to achieve our mission of helping out lung cancer patients and their families, and we're very proud of that. We look forward to 2021 and being together in person sometime at some point. In the meantime, take care, stay safe, and thanks for joining us. Good night.
As a board member of LCI, I've seen the ways that this organization has been extremely agile during this pandemic period, finding ways to reach survivors, finding ways to continually educate practitioner communities, and funding novel new researchers in their efforts to advance therapeutic interventions. LCI particularly has enriched my life and has provided a lot of support during this year in a way of finding a way to serve a community that I dearly want to contribute to. I think one of the most memorable moments that I've had during the last year was at our last board meeting in February. You could see that the organization's on the verge of making a number of significant initiatives happen. The way that this community of staff and the executive director and board works together has an ease of action that you don't find in every nonprofit. I'm excited about what we have seen in terms of sponsorship, even in these incredible difficult times. And I really appreciated the way that LCI has provided grants to individuals who really desperately need support and assistance during this difficult year.
I am part of Lung Cancer Initiative because this organization celebrates the advancements in diagnoses, treatments, and survivorship by educating physicians, patients, caregivers, and the general public alike. In 2020, things took a different form as everything moved online, and it was an opportunity to stretch our creativity to serve our constituents even better.
Many of us here this evening are survivors who have been able to connect with others and share our journeys. Beginning last year, Lung Cancer Initiative launched our first Survivor Steering Committee to get ongoing feedback into multiple levels of our organization and help develop programs like the monthly luncheons and annual wellness retreat in partnership with Wind River Cancer Retreats. It's our pleasure to now introduce Ginny Cake, a fellow lung cancer survivor who is sharing her journey with others to offer support and hope.
Thanks, Justin. I'm Jenny, and I am a stage 4 lung cancer survivor of 8 years. I was diagnosed in 2013. I was scheduled to go on a business trip to China. I worked at Duke for 42 years, and I had a pain in the middle of my back. I'm a very active person, so I thought that maybe I'd pulled a muscle or something. So, you know, most people think, well, let's go get a muscle relaxer so I can sit 14 hours on a plane. I called my primary care physician at Duke, and she was able to work me in 8:30 that morning. She checked everything. She said everything looked good, but just because I was so active that she thought I should get an x-ray just to make sure I hadn't cracked something. So that was 8:30 in the morning. By 11:30, she called me to let me know that they saw something that she didn't like on the x-ray. So she immediately wanted me to get an MRI and a CT scan. As you can imagine, my heart just sort of dropped. I had a full day that day, but told my secretary, I was like, you got to cancel everything. I gotta get home. And she mentioned the C word. And both of my parents died of lung cancer. So as you can imagine, I was immediately like, oh my God. But I am the type of person that I try not to worry too much unless I have something to worry about. I'm more of an actions and results girl. So I came home. My husband had just retired in May. This was October. He was sitting on the screened-in porch. I walk out and he's like, hey babe, did you bring me some lunch? And when he looked up and saw my face, I think that said it all. So I told him what was going on, and as he said earlier, that I'm sort of his rock. And so for me to have the possibility of having cancer sort of did him in. He was basically, hate to say it, but just so taken aback that he couldn't really do anything. Fortunately, I have some great friends, and I have one in particular who was a kick butt type of girl. So I called her. She immediately came over. We went over to Duke. I had to go through the emergency room, but I had my scans and everything. And that afternoon, I found out that I had lung cancer. At that point, I did not know what type or anything. So they did a biopsy, did genetic testing, and I have what's called EGFR mutation. Luckily, that's one that can be treated with a targeted therapy, so I take a pill every day. So after I was over my surgery, and what was on my back was a tumor had attached itself to my T4. And unfortunately, that was one Friday. The next Friday, that T4 snapped. The tumor just cracked it. I ended up going in an ambulance to the emergency room. That Monday, I was the first person on the table with my surgeon, and he removed that and put in a cage and some rods and pins. So it took me a while to get over the operation. I didn't realize how significant it was until he was showing me on the x-rays and told me exactly what he did. He basically moved all my insides to get to the tumor. So it took me a while to recuperate. Again, great people in my life, from my friends and my family. I stayed with my daughter the first full week. She took off from work and took care of me. My son flew in from Seattle. He was there for a while, but then also a lot of my friends came. And it was just so great. They even, would walk me around the block, and I was so doped up I could hardly put one foot in front of the other. But they were there for me and supported me, so it was great. Then, after I was well, I did go back to work. I worked for a couple of years. And then, you start thinking, life's too short, and I have no idea what the rest of my journey is going to be with this. Maybe I should just go ahead and retire. So, made the decision to retire. Done well with it. I don't have any physical limitations. I do have side effects from it, but nothing that I can't manage. I really thought I had everything together, and the Lung Cancer Initiative folks, you know, I did participate in all of the walks every year at the Triangle. I've done that since 2014. I have a good group of people that go with me every year and walk. It's a great event, and we always have so much fun. My grandson has a ball because they have face painting and all kinds of things for the kids, so he loves it. I've also resisted, I guess I would say, the wellness retreats that they've had in the past. I've been invited, but I was like, I've got my stuff together. I don't need anything like that. And then COVID hit. And so you're by yourself for so much that I was like, well, you know, maybe this year I'll give it a try. And we did it virtually. It was not in person. We did everything via Zoom. And it was such a great thing. I can't believe that I got so much out of it that I did. There's a lot of things that they teach us to do that helps with our anxiousness. If you're getting ready to go for a scan, some of the things you can do to calm yourself, because all of us get really anxious during that time. I also met some fellow survivors who I bonded with, and I love seeing them as much as I can on Zoom, and we still get together and have tea times. So that's really great. But there's also the thing, I think, that we have the monthly luncheons with LCI where we do a Zoom, and we basically just get on and chat. We talk about current things, like when everybody was trying to get their COVID shots. It was basically, I hate to say, a fiasco around this area, but everybody was giving tips on, oh, I got it there, or I went here. So that worked out great for one of the sessions. And so I try to attend those as much as I can, because Colleen and Jenny and all of them are just so kind to put all that together. So I also try to think, what is it that's kept me going all this time? Because you hear the word lung cancer, and especially in my circumstance where I had both my parents die pretty quickly after they were diagnosed, I think the best thing for me is just to think positively. I do believe in the power of the subconscious mind, that you are what you tell yourself. And so I have a little mantra, and that's one of the things we talked about in the wellness retreat also, is that every night I say I am healthy and whole. And I go to sleep thinking that. I wake up in the morning, think about who I'm grateful for, what life has to give me that I'm experiencing every day. I have a loving husband. I have a daughter who is the best, is always there for me, and my friends. And my grandsons. I mean, they are sort of the light in your life, and it's sort of the things that keeps me going. I want to see the older two graduate from college, and I even want to see the 6-year-old graduate from college. So I plan to be here a long time. And again, I want to thank LCI, Wind River, also for their great retreats that they put on. They're sponsored by LCI, and the luncheons and everything associated with it.
Thank you all so much for joining us this evening. We are very fortunate at the Lung Cancer Initiative to have such a large network of dedicated and passionate volunteers. In 2020, we had over 150 volunteers serve on 11 different committees for the Lung Cancer Initiative. And they did anything from planning events to reviewing grant applications to providing expertise and leadership for our programs. And of course, they planned Zoom meetings as well. It is only with their support that we are able to serve the lung cancer community. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sandy Oler, Director of Special Events. Collectively, our fundraising events raised more than $450,000 in 2020. Critical funding that allowed us to continue our mission in a very difficult year. These events would not be successful without the committed teams leading their efforts and the fearless leaders who guided their efforts. Lunge Forward Triangle, Jen Colon. Lunge Forward Triad, Emily Parks. Lunge Forward Charlotte co-chairs Jen Ursick and Noli Futch. Evening of Hope Gala, Angela Nicholson. Triangle Golf Classic, Gary Hicks. Our committees are already in full gear planning our fundraising events this year, and we need your help. If you're interested in putting your talents to work to support the Lunge Forward events, Evening of Hope Gala, or Triangle Golf Classic, please let us know. No experience necessary.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Jennifer Garst, and I'm the board chair for the Lung Cancer Initiative of North Carolina. The Lung Cancer Initiative benefits from the leadership and support of volunteers who serve on our many leadership committees. Our research programming efforts are led by our Scientific Advisory Committee, with representation from physician leaders across our state. Our Healthcare Provider Education Committee is vital in determining our priorities and reaching out to primary care and specialty physicians on topics from screening to comprehensive biomarker testing. Our REACH Community Grant Committee supports our efforts to partner with community institutions who are improving access to lung cancer education, screening, and treatment, including clinical trials. And our Marketing Committee serves the important role of helping us raise awareness about lung cancer, as well as about our organization. I want to extend a very special thank you to our Board of Directors for their dedicated time and efforts, particularly over the past 12 months as we've navigated the ever-changing priorities, resources, and needs among our constituents in the midst of a global pandemic. Our Executive Committee of the Board also began meeting more frequently over the past year and has provided ongoing support in helping our organization shift to meet staff and constituent needs. This year, we are celebrating 3 individuals who have provided invaluable leadership to our organization. Dr. Jared Weiss and Dr. Ed Kim both have served on our board of directors and currently migrated off our board this year. They both provide strategic guidance and leadership to allow our organization to continue to grow our impact through physician education and research. Also, we would like to thank Dr. Jeff Petty, who has served as the leader of our Scientific Advisory Committee for the past 2 years and led our efforts to deliver valuable lung cancer research programming across North Carolina. We look forward to continuing to partner with all 3 of these amazing leaders, and Dr. Ed Kim, who you heard from earlier, is the new leader of our Scientific Advisory Committee. In addition to our committees, our generous donors are critical to our organization. I'd like to now introduce you to one of my fellow board members and fellow Giving Hope Society member, Liz Henson, who will share more about our Giving Hope Society.
Hi, I'm Liz Henson, and I'm a proud member of the Giving Hope Society. For those of you not familiar with the Giving Hope Society, it is a commitment by supporters of the Lung Cancer Initiative to donate at least $1,000 annually to the organization. Sustained donations to Lung Cancer Initiative by society members allows the organization to commit to funding critical research and expanding education across the state. As a member of the Lung Cancer Initiative Board of Directors and the Giving Hope Society, I would like to say a big thank you to the 45 other individuals and couples who were part of the Giving Hope Society last year. This past November, society members enjoyed a virtual celebration that included the board and some of LCI's leading researchers. We hope to get together in person this year to honor society members and thank them for the critical support they provide Lung Cancer Initiative. I greatly encourage other supporters of the Lung Cancer Initiative to become a member of the Giving Hope Society this year. For myself, a sustained commitment to an organization where so much is achieved is a very rewarding feeling, and I hope you will join me.
Hi, Gary and Lynn Hicks here. Even with the pandemic and the COVID restrictions of 2020, we were able to organize and plan a successful Triangle Golf Tournament with the help of many great sponsors, volunteers, and the LCI staff.
For 2021, we are planning our best event ever. Please join us on Monday, October 11th at the Washington Duke Inn for the 3rd annual Triangle Golf Tournament. We would really appreciate you coming out and supporting us. Thank you.
Hey guys, it's Jenny from the Lung Cancer Initiative. Thank you all for joining us this evening. I just can't believe that our last in-person event was the annual meeting last year. It's so crazy to believe. It's been such a crazy year. I am just seeing the light at the end of the tunnel though, and I'm very excited to see you all hopefully soon at an event coming up this year. We've got a lot of great events planned for 2021. I hope you are all doing well, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Being an advocate in 2020 looked quite different for most of us than in previous years. While juggling challenges in our own lives and in our workplaces, finding ways to offer support was often a challenge itself in a virtual world. However, so many people reached out to us at Lung Cancer Initiative to learn how they could help, from creating hundreds of cards to offer support to survivors, to serving on virtual committees and task force, to volunteering their time and talents to offer educational programming to our constituents. Our volunteers and advocates stepped up in miraculous ways. Tonight, we are recognizing 6 individuals who were nominated for the significant impact they made on others in 2020. First, our Survivor of the Year award recognizes someone who has been diagnosed with lung cancer and who has used their journey to support others as a source of inspiration and hope. This year's recipient is Angela Hopper. As her nomination said, Angela has been active in promoting lung cancer awareness on social media. She has reached out to fellow lung cancer survivors with encouragement and support through their cancer journeys. Angela has participated on Mission Hospital's Patient Advisory Council as a lung cancer representative. Angela serves on the Survivor Steering Committee, helping Lung Cancer Initiative guide programs in a way that ensures we continue to meet survivors' needs. She also is always willing to help us brainstorm new topics and partners for our educational outreach, such as identifying potential partners in Western North Carolina for a radon awareness project. Congratulations, Angela.
I want to thank the LCI for this award. I'm very humble. There are so many deserving lung cancer advocates and survivors out there, and I really appreciate the LCI and awarding this award to me. 2020 was a difficult year for most people, especially lung cancer survivors and other cancer survivors. The LCI, I felt, stepped up and support lung cancer survivors and the lung cancer community with COVID information, which was very informative, and other programming. They began the survivor lunches, which was a way for survivors to connect, which was important when lung cancer survivors had to be really careful about being out in the community. I've been a part of the LCI since early in my diagnosis in 2014. My daughter Ashley found the organization online for me, and we as a family have supported and participated in a lot of the activities, such as the walks and the galas over the years. My hope for 2021 is to continue lung cancer advocacy and to raise lung cancer awareness.
The Volunteer of the Year Award recognizes the impact, dedication, and generosity of someone who gives their time freely to support the mission of Lung Cancer Initiative. This year's recipient is Sarah Mims, who has served as an intern from University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill. As her nomination noted, one big way Sarah has impacted the lung cancer community is by helping us begin developing a database of cancer centers all across North Carolina to help our efforts of connecting with lung cancer patients in rural and underserved North Carolina communities. She was also critical in helping us handle the COVID-19 Patient Emergency Fund and sending assisted checks to patients in need as quickly as possible. Sarah's passion for public health is inspiring. She has been committed to building community with our intern group and quickly leaned into the importance of Lung Cancer Initiative's mission from the moment she started working with us. Congratulations, Sarah.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much. I'm really honored to be nominated and to accept the 2020 Volunteer of the Year Award from the Lung Cancer Initiative of North Carolina. I have really treasured my work and volunteer experience with them. And I'm just so grateful for that and the wonderful people at this organization. LCI means a lot to me. I have a personal family connection to lung cancer. And so it's like a very important thing to me to support and raise money and awareness for survivors and lung cancer patients. And so I just really love the staff at LCI and the community. When I was working with them this summer, my favorite event that I attended was a virtual Survivors Day lunch, and that was just wonderful to meet the community of close-knit lung cancer survivors and patients that LCI supports. I just can't say enough great things about the staff and the community, and thank you so much again for this Volunteer of the Year award. Working with LCI was a bright spot for me in 2020. It's been a really difficult year for all of us, but that was like a silver lining for sure. And I just wanted to say I hope everyone's doing well, and that last year taught me, and this year as well, that we are a lot stronger than we think we are, and that there are so many wonderful people out there. So thank you so much, LCI, and I really appreciate the Volunteer of the Year award.
The Healthcare Professional of the Year Award recognizes a healthcare professional that goes above and beyond in an effort to provide support and patient-centered care to the lung cancer community. This year's recipient is Adrian Dixon, and as his nomination noted, 2020 was a tough year for everyone, and Lung Cancer Initiative needed resources both internally and externally to enable continuing service of the lung cancer community when those individuals needed us most. Reverend Dixon leads the spiritual care program at Duke Raleigh Hospital, and no doubt had so many additional needs to fulfill for Duke Raleigh's patients throughout the year. However, when Lung Cancer Initiative approached him several times throughout the year, he very quickly stepped in to provide whatever was needed. In addition to provided much needed support to our staff and the lung cancer community in processing loss throughout the year, Reverend Dixon also supported Lung Cancer Initiative's Community Education Series by participating in a Coping with COVID-19 and Cancer educational program in the spring. He talked with participants about what is helping them to get through the pandemic, as well as processing and understanding how their own lung cancer diagnosis has changed their lives. Congratulations, Reverend Dixon.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for being nominated and being selected to receive the Lung Cancer Initiative's Healthcare Professional of the Year Award. If you've ever received anything or been given anything that you felt like you didn't deserve, then you know how I'm feeling right now. But I am so appreciative to have been selected for this. I go back a few years with the Lung Cancer Initiative, mostly by providing educational events for the participants in the organization and in the program. And I've always feel so encouraged and so fortunate to have met many of you and to have had conversations with many of you. And in my work at Duke Raleigh Hospital, I get to work alongside so many individuals who are battling cancer, and specifically lung cancer. And so I certainly thank you for this recognition, and I know those who are facing cancer know this all too well, but I think if COVID has given us anything, it is a reminder of just to take one day and one moment at a time. And so I'm soaking up this moment. I'm thankful for this recognition, and certainly wish all of you the very best as we continue to work through 2021. Thank you again.
The Caregiver of the Year Award is given in recognition of the compassion and devotion of someone who takes care of or has taken care of an individual diagnosed with lung cancer. This year's recipient is Brianna Pierce. She was nominated by her mother, who said she has a full-time job, a son, a husband, and a home to care for, and then she added me. She has been able to juggle her job, family, and caring for me beautifully. She deserves more recognition and thanks than I can ever give her. She has shown more compassion and empathy than most people are capable of. She constantly shows me her deep love and her desire to keep me safe and alive as long as possible. Congratulations, Brianna.
Hi, my name is Brianna Pierce, and I'm the recipient of LCI's 2020 Caregiver of the Year Award. What an honor. I did not know that my mother, Sandy, nominated me for this award, so it came to me as quite a thrill. You should know that my mother is who I cared for. Mom, join me. I felt it only fitting that she join me as I accept this award tonight. In 2019, my mother was diagnosed with stage 3 lung cancer. After many miracles and an amazing medical team from the Levine Cancer Institute, including Drs. Hagen and Hagstrom, she was able to celebrate her 1-year cancer-free milestone this past January. I want to thank the Lung Cancer Initiative for their efforts to bring attention to this silent killer and for their support over the last 18 months. Thank you so much.
Finally, the Committee Member of the Year Award recognizes the time, energy, and support given by a committee member who has exceptionally dedicated to supporting the mission of the committee on which they serve. This year, we received a nomination from a committee of a dynamic duo highlighting 2 amazing volunteers. Thus, this year's recipients are Rachelle Leonard and Sharon Bougie. As their nomination explained, Rachelle's and Sharon's individual efforts along with their teamwork is what led to this nomination. These ladies are advocates. That means they have impacted the lung cancer community by putting patients and their families at the front of their thoughts, working hard to raise awareness of lung cancer and raising money to support research and programming efforts. The Charlotte Lunge Forward 5K was the first of our fundraising events to be impacted by COVID-19 in 2020. We were merely 2 weeks out from the event when we had to make the decision to change the race to a virtual event. Rachelle volunteered early on to take notes during all of our regular committee meetings, and Sharon was overseeing the coordination around packet pickup. Both Rachelle and Sharon stayed committed to the Charlotte Lunge Forward team, attending virtual calls and helping pull through the virtual race. Both ladies provided excellent feedback on the reformat of the event and did so with a positive attitude. Their support and dedication to the Charlotte Lunge team is why we would like to nominate both of them for Committee Member of the Year. Congratulations to both Rachelle and Sharon.
Hi everyone, thanks so much for my Committee Member of the Year award. It means a lot to get recognized for a cause that means so very much to me. My father was diagnosed with lung cancer and has since passed away, but I love working with this group because it brings so much information and provides resources to those people who need it the most. My prayer going forward is that we continue to do the work that we enjoy doing, that we have fun while we're doing it, and that we're able to reach more people and get more information and resources out to those who need it the most. Thanks again.
Hi everyone. Thank you so much for my Committee Member of the Year award. I'm really honored to receive an award from an organization that means so much to me. I serve on the Lung Cancer Initiative Committee because I see firsthand the impact we make on our community by educating people about lung cancer, and also the resources and support we provide to our lung cancer survivors and their families. My hope for 2021 is that we can meet again soon in person instead of virtually, and we can reach out to more people in the community. Thanks again.
Thank you so much to all of you who joined us here this evening. And we want to give a special thank you to our annual meeting sponsors, Jazz Pharmaceutical, Genentech, and AstraZeneca. We also invite you to mark your calendars for our Advocacy Summit coming up on May 21st and 22nd. This virtual event will arm you with tools to be a better advocate in your own community. And this year, it's going to be all about advancing survivorship. Again, thank you for being here this evening, and we look forward to partnering with you throughout the year.
Hi everyone, my name is Lane Moore, and I'm LCI's Communications and Development Specialist. In a time when online community has played a vital role in connecting our network of hope, please be sure to follow us on our social media platforms. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at NC Lung Cancer, or Twitter at LC Initiative NC, and also follow us on LinkedIn and YouTube at Lung Cancer Initiative. And if you're a lung cancer survivor, we'd love to tell your story. So please reach out to me at lmoore@lungcancerinitiative.nc.org.